Hi, thank you for the privilege of being able to share a thought with you. A few weeks ago I spoke about kindness, one of the fruit of the Spirit. Last week Simon spoke about gentleness. Today I want to share a word with you about joy, another fruit of the Spirit. It's near the end of the year. It's been a horrific year with COVID and the pandemic and all the things that have come in to cloud our thinking. And you often feel like Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 19, verses 4 and 10, where he gets so down in the dumps, where he cries out to God. He says, God, I want to die. Take my life. And so if you look at Elijah's life, at that particular moment, it was filled with self-pity, and that robbed him of all the joy in his service of the Lord and in his ministry to God's people. And I think sometimes as Christians, we can feel like that. We only see the hardships and we fail to see any of life's blessings and the goodness. Well, if I look at the word joy, it's very different to happiness. You see, happiness is temporal, but joy is eternal. Happiness is dependent on our outward circumstances, whereas joy is a condition as a person that believes in the Lord Jesus Christ. It's one of those blessings of those who believe in Jesus. And in the New Testament, we see that joy is also expected and commanded. In fact, Paul writes to the church in Philippi, in Philippians 4:4, and he says, rejoice in the Lord always. I'll say it again, rejoice. That word rejoice, chero, comes from the root word chara, which has also got to do with chari, which is grace. And so the word chara, joy, the word grace, chari, are combined. And as we look at them and as they are related, joy is one of the characteristics of the true believer's life. And we see the impressive victory of faith and joy when we have a look at the presence of God in our lives. Perhaps your life and even my life is filled with tragedy and hardship. We can look beyond that because there is a secret behind all of this. And I want to share that secret of joy with you right now. It's not to look at our circumstances, but to look beyond that and to know, according to Philippians 1:6, that being confident of this, Paul writes, that he who began a good work in us will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. And so God is still busy with us, and he will bring it to completion. That word completion, epitelesi, is the Greek word there, to bring to an end. He will accomplish it, he will make it perfect, he will execute it completely. And so what is our source of joy? Well, it's not our circumstances, it's not our situation. That might bring happiness or hardship. It's looking beyond that. It's got to do with God's grace. It's the presence of God in our lives as we enter into a relationship with him. The psalmist said in Psalm 46:4, there is a river whose streams make glad the city of God and the holy place where the Most High dwells. Again, Psalm 16:11, you have made known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. And so the source of joy is the presence of God. So as we prepare our minds and our hearts and our homes for Christmas, let's look beyond the hardship of this year. But let's allow the presence of God to dwell in our lives. And how do we do that? Well, through praise, through singing praises and adoration to God, through communion and prayer and Bible reading, and spending time with other men and women of the Lord Jesus Christ. You see, as we do that, self-pity goes out the window. And I think this year, if we look for Jesus, we will find him. And as we look for him and find him, so that joy comes back. I didn't grow up on the book, Where's Wally? As a lot of kids did in South Africa, but when coming to Australia in 2009, our little boy Michael was very young. So we went to the children's library and we were able to find this book called Where's Wally? And we used to look for Wally. Sometimes it was difficult to find Wally, but as we looked for him long enough, we found him. If you and I look for Jesus, we will find him. If we look hard enough, we will find him. He is there. As we look for him, he is there. And we invite him into our lives, and his presence dwells within us. That joy will come naturally. I pray that we look for Jesus, and his joy will come to our lives. God bless you.